Hello, hello, hello. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
This is so awesome. He wants to know if there's a place where this can be seen by his loved ones at all. Copy that. And I guess we will call this as we will. He's on his phone. I'm not sure if he needs for bullet points.
No, no, I don't. I was going to send a link to.
Copy that. So we'll let you send the link
Yeah.
as soon as Celeste. I'm going to. Do you have George's info? If not, just text me the link and I'll text it to him. Copy that. There we go. I'm going to do the same thing right now.
Will they need to be on goggles to be able to see this?
No, be on computer.
They can be on
There's
a
also a YouTube link, it looks like right
Okay.
now. They've sent you.
Okay.
There's a YouTube link in itself.
Okay.
So just remember one thing, George. When you're
Yeah.
talking, talk the way you were when they were checking audio, and always look directly at the lens.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right. Let me post this.
Yeah, you can give me a countdown. You can let me know. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to mute my phone. I'm going to mute my phone, and then I'm letting it talk into the microphone right now. Go ahead and do a test one.
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
Sure can. George, can you give me more tests?
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
Copy that. Strange and exciting stuff, huh?
Yeah.
It's all came together. Just remember, you have a hot mic on. Anything you say, the
Yeah.
rest of the world will have memory of.
Yeah.
And recordings.
Yeah.
Definitely, I don't want to leave you with the impression that is not the case.
No, right.
And everything you say, just directly to camera.
Is it ready to go? Okay.
Do me a favor and let's pose for one photo with the phone away real quick.
Okay.
And then I'm going to feel free just to stand kind of towards the camera.
Stand further up.
Where you were at, fine. We're not moving anything or changing anything.
Okay.
Show the scope and scale of everything we're doing here today.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's cool.
Maybe take a few more and send them to me.
Looks good from Chris. Hey, George, do me a favor and speak.
1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3.
hallo.
Hi, everyone. I'm going to be broadcasting in about 10 minutes, so I'll step off the stage now and be back to you in 10. Thanks.
Okay. Auto-Level. Aber
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me out there? Can you guys hear me? Yes. Okay, awesome. So I'm Celeste. I'm helping to produce this event. Our team is in Miami right now, and we have we're a little bit behind, so I just want to thank you guys for your patience. We have George Chanos here today. He was the former Nevada Attorney General. He's going to be talking about technology and blockchain, NFTs, and we're a little bit behind schedule, so he's going to start really soon. There's some panel events that are going on in real life here in Miami. Yeah, some of those cocktails will make you sick. Be careful, but they're pretty strong. So, again, my name is Celeste Lear. I'm one of the producers here. I'm working with MetaCities and also Dreamland XR. I want to give a big shout out to Carlos and his camera crew right here for coming in last minute to help us capture this. We're also broadcasting on YouTube. And let's see, let me see if I can find the channel here. It's Carlos Austin. So if you go to YouTube and type in Carlos Austin, you will also be able to see the broadcast of what we're doing here in World. Again, this is for Miami Art Week. We're here with the Bit Basel community, who are leaders in education and community events here for Miami Tech, for blockchain education, for crypto education, and they've just been fantastic to work with. And they've got a big warehouse that they're doing events in part. They have DJs all day and all kinds of art installations. So again, after we have George speak, we're going to have another acoustic performance by a Vegas-based musician. So we're going to have a couple fun activities for you guys here today with our cool holoportation technology. So again, thank you so much for you coming in and for your patience. And we are going to have some really cool teleportation going on for you guys in just a few minutes here. So thanks again. Can anyone hear me right now? Can someone say something to me?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi, hi. Thanks for helping, Marcy. Really appreciate it. You're in Vegas also, right?
No, well, right now I'm in Rhode Island. I'll eventually be in the Seattle area. Okay. But so where are you live streaming?
So we are live streaming there's a warehouse in Miami, a design district, that they have this extensive workshops and panels, and it's multi-room, and they have an outdoor area for DJs. It's called the Elemental here in Miami. So that's where this podcast is going out to. And then
that sounds cool. But I meant like online. So eventually, if I have to put it on
okay,
to the projector.
Do I have your phone number?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Can I give it to you?
Oh, great. They got it up on stage, too. So the URL is going on stage. Great. Let me, Marcy, we're friends on Facebook, so let me try to, I'm friends on Altspace, so let me see if I can search you.
Do you want me to message you?
Here, oh, are we not friends? What happened here?
We're friends.
Add friend. Are you on Facebook, maybe?
I am on Facebook.
Or here, give me your phone number.
Can I message it to you so not everyone hears?
Sure.
Basel.
Good to go?
Holy crap.
Hi, everyone. My name is George Chanos. I formerly served as Nevada's 31st Attorney General. I'm also the author of Millennial Samurai, A Mindset for the 21st Century. I've been asked to speak today to offer my thoughts on the future. First, I want to shout out to John Paul Lewis, who's here handling the technical side of things, and Chris Costelli, who's in Miami. I want to thank MetaCities and Bit Basel for inviting me to speak to you. And here are my thoughts. So first of all, in 2014, Stephen Hawking, theoretical physicist Stephen Hawking, said that the greatest event in human history will be the singularity, that moment in time when machine intelligence will eclipse human intelligence. Greater than fire, greater than the wheel, greater than anything humanity has ever conceived of. Ray Kurzweil, the head of artificial intelligence for Google, tells us that this moment in time could come as early as 2029. Others in the AI field echo that sentiment, and some believe it may come sooner. Elon Musk has been quoted as saying that it could come before 2029. So this massive technology change, this tsunami of technological change, is on the horizon. What Kurzweil goes on to say is even more startling. He says that by the 2040s, artificial intelligence will not be our equal. It will be 1 billion times, with a B, 1 billion times more capable than human intelligence. Now, if we stop and think about that for a moment, we realize quickly that the human brain lacks the capacity to even understand what an intelligence 1 billion times our own means to life on this planet. But what we do know is that the change will be dramatic, extraordinary, and that it's coming faster than a freight train. So by the end of this decade, we will, Eric Schmidt, the former chairman of Google, just released a 186-page report in which he says that by the end of the decade, we will know whether humanity will be suffering from constant surveillance and censorship and domination, or whether or not the world will evolve into a better, more enlightened place. So a lot's going to happen over the next 10 years, and far more will happen over the next 30 years. Kurzweil talks about nanobots pulsing through our bloodstream, curing all of our diseases in the 2040s. He talks about our neural cortex being connected to the cloud. And today, anything that I want to know, I go on my phone, I search on Google, and the information comes to me through their curated content. Tomorrow, I'll just think about a question, and the answer will come to me instantaneously from the cloud. Knowledge will become less important, and intelligence will become more important. Knowledge will be accessible everywhere. You'll have instantaneous access to knowledge. What you'll need is the intelligence to know what questions to ask. And so, you know, some of this may sound very daunting, and some of it may be frightening to some. But what we should remember is that leaders don't run from problems. They run at them. And so I don't look at these challenges as something to fear. I look at them as something to be excited about, to be grateful for, that we are living in the most extraordinary period in human history. But how do you deal with these challenges and seize these opportunities? What tools are required for humanity to embrace these changes in a way that moves us and the planet forward as opposed to backward. The world is at a tipping point, and over the next 10 to 15 years, we're going to know which side we're leaning towards. So what do we need to know? Well, one of the things that I think, there's an interesting story that I'll use to illustrate why I think the way I do about this. There's a man who's standing on the bank of a rising river, a flood that is in time going to rise above the shore and create mass devastation. There are boats that are leaving the village that this man is in. And they pass him by, and they invite him to get on the boat. And he says, "No, that's okay. I don't need to get on the boat. God will save me." And the boat leaves. And then another boat, an hour later, passes by. By this time, the water level is even higher and more threatening, more life-threatening. And they say, "Get on the boat. You really need to get on the boat. If you don't, you're going to die." And he says, "It's okay. God will save me." Finally, the third boat comes about an hour later. The water's up to his chest. And they say, "This is the last boat out. You really need to get on the boat." And he says again, "It's okay. God will save me." And then he dies, and he goes up to heaven, and he meets God, and he confronts him. And he says, "God, why did you forsake me?" And God looks at him and says, "I didn't forsake you. I sent you 3 boats." The moral of the story is that the boats are here. We have the boats. We have artificial intelligence, we have blockchain technology, we have 3D printing, we have cloud computing. The changes, the technological innovations that we have today are the boats. And we can use those boats to create a second enlightenment, or we can allow those boats to be used against us, to cause us to fall into dystopian despair. I believe that people need to be talking about these issues and examining these issues and determining what our priorities are and what kind of a world that we want to live in, and how can we use this technology, harness this technology to create a better existence for humanity, for all of humanity. I believe that we have the opportunity to harness this technology to educate the world's people. I believe that we can harness this technology to feed and clothe and house the world's population. I believe that we can use this technology to create abundance for all and design a world that is better than anything that we've ever experienced or even envisioned. And so these are our opportunities and these are our challenges. One of the things that is preventing us from moving in the right direction is the division that currently grips our nation and most of the world. The division, whether it's based on ethnicity, religion, sex, socioeconomic status, race, whatever our divisions are being caused by, these are limiting factors. These are factors that will prevent us from reaching that second enlightenment that is available to us. These are divisions that can cause us to fall into dystopian despair, because people who are in control of this technology could use that division to subjugate the masses, to weaken them, to make them more controllable. And that's something that we should all be concerned about. So one of the greatest existential threats, I believe, facing the planet today is the division that we currently now face. How do we get over that division? Well, the first way that we get over that division is by recognizing our profound interdependence, recognizing that we need one another. The fire ant can't swim. It dies in torrential rains. To avoid drowning, the fire ant locks its legs and self-assembles into floating rafts. Together, they survive. Alone, they would perish. If you look throughout nature, there are signs everywhere. Flocks of sterlings, schools of fish, packs of wolves, hives of bees. In all of these instances, nature collaborates and cooperates with one another to achieve its ends. It's through that collaboration that human beings have immense power to design and to develop the world in the way that they want it to be. And so, in my view, this is one of the greatest existential threats facing the world, is the fact that we're allowing ourselves to be divided from one another. Our power is not as individuals. Our power is in our collective strength, our ability to work together. You know, in 2018, Yuval Noah Harari spoke at the World Economic Forum in Davos, and he gave us a glimpse of how dramatically different the world is likely to be. He spoke about organisms as algorithms, and he basically said that all organisms are essentially algorithms, and that what you need to crack those algorithms is two things. You need computing power, and you need data. The more extensive the computing power and the more extensive the data, the greater use that you'll be able to put that technology and information to. So Harari says that the primary industries of the 21st century will be the manufacturing of bodies and brains. The manufacturing of bodies and brains. That we will hack the human organism, and that we will be able to redesign ourselves and design new species, and that the divisions will not be between different groups within our species, but between different species. And so if you think about, you know, the way that this is going, the implications are incredible, absolutely incredible. The International Society for Stem Cell Research in May relaxed its restrictions on working with embryos. You couldn't manipulate embryos beyond the 14th day of their growth up until May, and when this rule change went into effect that now allows researchers to go past that hardline stop at 14 days. When you take these types of developments and pair them with the pronouncements of people like Harari at the World Economic Forum, it's clear that the world is moving into uncharted territory, a level of which that none of us have ever experienced. And we all have opinions on that, and we all think that our opinions generally are accurate. It's one of the characteristics of human beings that our egos crave validation. Our egos hate being torn down, even to be rebuilt. We like to believe that we're right in what we think. And so this is also a source of our division, in that people become very wedded to their ideas and believe that they have the answers and that their answers are the correct answers. And one of the things that I think can help heal that division is understanding our own ignorance, embracing our own ignorance. Aristotle once said that the man who thinks he knows everything knows nothing at all. And I want you to think about where your thoughts come from and what your thoughts really are, and whether or not you should be so wedded to them. So first of all, I think of my thoughts as transitory packets of sensory information that may or may not be true. And I try to interrogate my thoughts to determine whether or not they're accurate, whether or not they're true. You know, our brains receive approximately 11 million bits of information per second. And that's been happening since the time you were born. And yet your conscious brain can only process 15 to 50 bits of information per second, which means that the vast majority of the information that enters your brain enters outside your conscious awareness. If the vast majority of information entering your brain enters outside your conscious awareness, then that information has never been interrogated. That information has never been called into question and made to account. And so there's no telling how much inaccurate information may be in your brain and may be influencing your thoughts and your actions. It's also important to know that people who grow up in different areas of the world, under different circumstances, in different families, they watch different movies, they read different books, they go to different concerts, they're surrounded by different friends, they attend different churches or mosques. It's no wonder that their brains would think differently than one another. Rather than looking at those alternative thoughts, those thoughts that we don't share, those opinions that we don't have, or that we don't currently accept, rather than looking at those as threats, I believe that we need to be looking at those as assets. If someone has a view that I don't have, it's a perspective that adds value to me. If I'm driving down the highway and my wife is sitting in the passenger side of the vehicle, and I ask her if I'm clear on the right, I'm asking her because she has a perspective that I don't have. I can look through my rearview mirror, I can look through my side mirrors, but only she in the passenger seat can lean out the window and look and have a better look at what's happening on the right side of the car. So that's an asset to me. That's a benefit to me. She has a perspective that I don't have. Well, the same is true of the child in war-torn Syria. He has a perspective that I don't have. And it's true of people all over the world, people in Russia, people in China, people from the Midwest, people from Cleveland and Chicago and Miami, right? They all have different views. They've all had different experiences. They've all grown up seeing, witnessing, and experiencing different things. To be able to avail yourself of that additional information is a blessing. It's something that can elevate you. It's something that can empower you. It's something that can help you solve problems. It's something that can help you overcome your challenges. And so by embracing alternative perspectives, by having greater tolerance for those that you don't agree with or understand, by trying to understand alternative lifestyles and how different people see the world, you can only benefit. When I was a young boy, when I was only 12 years old, I read a book called Ogilvy on Advertising by David Ogilvy, who was known as the father of advertising. Ogilvy talked about a helicopter perspective. He talked about how some people have the ability to rise above a problem and see that problem from a 360-degree vantage point, giving that person a greater understanding of the topic at hand, and how this skill set, this ability to have that helicopter perspective, gave these people an incredible advantage over others. We all have the ability to see things from a helicopter perspective if we try. If we understand the value, if we understand the importance, if we understand the need, we can rise above any situation and look at it from all different angles. That's critical thinking. That's essentially what you need to do to solve complex problems, is you need to gather information, as much information as possible. You need to see things from as many different perspectives as possible. And then you need to weigh that information and decide what you think is the truth. If you want to find the truth, you need to make truth your priority. You need to be less concerned about validation and acceptance of your ideas, and more concerned about finding the right answers, finding the right solutions, whether or not they're your solutions. It's more important that they're the right solutions. So when asked what I think about the future, I'm optimistic. I believe that we have everything that we need to create a second enlightenment, to create a society that's beyond our wildest dreams. I believe that we have the technology that would allow us to feed the world's hungry, and eliminate ignorance, and you know, who knows what extraordinary achievements lie ahead of us. So I'm optimistic. I'm grateful for being able to live in this era. I'm not frightened in the least by these challenges. I'm excited by them, and I would encourage you to share that excitement. What we're doing today is just the beginning of where metaverses will go, where blockchain technology will take us. Today, it's, you know, a fairly pedestrian exercise to see me talking in this metaverse. But tomorrow, you'll be able to go into a metaverse and imagine that you're in a Colosseum and you're fighting Spartacus, or you're leading a Roman legion, or you're climbing Mount Everest. And it'll seem real. The only thing that's missing is computing power and bandwidth and advances in technology. There will come a point, we've learned more about the human brain in the last 5 years than the last 5,000 years. And there will come a point where technology will advance over the next 10 to 15 years. Technology will advance to a point where we're able to trick the human brain into believing that you are actually in that environment, in the Roman Colosseum, actually fighting Spartacus. And that's an incredible place to be. So, you know, what will be made possible in the fields of medicine and chemistry and physics and computing technology by all of these advances in technology, I don't think anyone knows the true extent of where this is going, but it's going to be a wild ride, and I'm glad to be part of it. So again, I'm George Chanis. I'm playing right now with blockchain technology and NFTs. I've created a company called People Reign, R-E-I-G-N, and we're minting NFTs that provide commentary on, we're acting as witnesses to what we're seeing in the world today. And we're immortalizing that art on the blockchain immutably in perpetuity as political commentary, parody, and satire, and leaving messages behind, planting seeds to see where they grow on the blockchain. So what are you doing to engage this technology? What are you doing to learn about this technology? What contributions can you make? How can you use NFTs, for example, to advance society's collective interests? One idea might be to create an NFT for the homeless population and have people purchase it and have those funds go to designated wallets that are owned by people that are providing services in that area. There are endless possibilities of what you could be doing to harness this technology to make the world a better place. My parting advice to you is to understand that America and the world are at a tipping point. And that fulcrum will move over the next 10 to 15 years in a decidedly significant direction. Whether it moves us towards a second enlightenment or whether it moves us towards dystopian despair is up to you. And the way that you're going to be able to direct that change is by working together, by joining together and having your strength in numbers dictate the policy moving forward. As an individual, you're very limited. But with your fellow man, once you embrace them and once you work with them, your power is unlimited. Never forget that. And I hope that this testimony lives on, and I hope that it inspires future generations to bind together with their fellow human beings and create the society that you want, the society made possible by this amazing technology. I'm looking forward to your creating a second enlightenment. And I hope that this encourages you to do so. Thank you, and thank you for having me.
All right. Hey, everyone that's here. Thank you so much for attending. And this is George Chanos. He was the former Attorney General of Nevada. And obviously, he is just a very forward visionary thinker. And we are just really honored to have him here today. Hey, Ben. um, My name's Celeste Lear, and I'm here in Miami at Miami Art Week, and we're working with Bit Basel Dreamland and the MetaCities team to present these hologram speakers. We have another performer that's going to be coming up here. His name is Trice. He's a musician, and so we're going to have a musical performance coming in a few minutes here. I also want to just say a tremendous shout out to Carlos and his team for jumping in and helping us with the videography. Hi, you guys. So the little drones that you see are actual people flying around and helping us capture video. So again, this is all being broadcast live in Miami at Miami Art Week at the Bit Basel headquarters at Elemental. And if you guys want to see what's going on, just go to the Bit Basel YouTube channel. Also, if you want to see the footage of what's going on in World here, you can also go to the Carlos Austin YouTube channel to see his work and him and his videographers. So again, you guys, thanks so much. Cheers. And we'll be back in just about 20 minutes to half an hour with another holoportation performance by the artist Trice out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Thanks. Cheers. afternoon, everyone. I just want to make a quick announcement for anyone that just came into Meta Miami here. My name is Celeste Fleer, and I'm helping to produce some of these holoportation events that we have today. We have another performer that's going to be live coming from Vegas. It's going to be about another 20 minutes to half an hour. His name is Thrice, and we have our holoportation tech hard at work in Vegas, and I'm here in Miami with the Bit Basel and the Dreamland XR team. We're here for Miami Art Week. We have a broadcast playing on the video screen in the lounge area over this way. So we're going to be playing also videos for the remainder of the day that are going on, like live panel events and educational content by presenters that are talking about blockchain technology and NFT art and anything and everything that has to do with the art and tech world here. So feel free to hang out, tell your friends. And again, the holoportation session is going to happen just about another 20 to 30 minutes. So thanks for your patience.
When do you hand out the free stuff? Came here for the free stuff.
I mean, you can grab a cocktail, just make sure one of them will make you sick, so just be careful.
Yes. I know. I'm like a pro at this. I'm like a pro.
emails with pictures. So we did bring a celebrity here. That's Timberland up there. I get.
change, shift, transition, death, reset, transform, rebirth. The sun goes down tonight in the valley. The sun goes down tonight in the valley. There may be cause for concern. Right passage will be well learned. All lessons will be well earned. Strength, courage, wisdom affirmed. Through the valley, yeah. On this path I sojourn. Amidst the shadows. Shadows. Step by step, hill by hill, through valleys and hills, facing life's hills, all concealed in the shadows, in the shadows. Ignorance fell through heaven and hell, through serene spells, through wisdom reveals, all is well, all is well. I am well, wielding wells and war cries, Christ harmonized, on a journey within, on a quest to amend the wounds of the field and the consummate field, in word and in deed, in thyself be healed through the valley, through the path I sojourn amidst the shadows, trailblazed and unburned through the valley. Yeah. On this path I sojourn amidst the shadows, trailblazed and unburned. Right here, this is called Dance with the Ancestors. In particular, for my sister, my baby girl, Bella Ra. Rest in peace. Love you, baby girl. Let's go. Bella Ra. Bella Ra. Hey. I gotta put my shades on for this one. The sugar shake dance is in full effect. This is the sugar shake right here, baby. Gotta shake them shoulders. Shake them shoulders, yeah, yeah. Bella Ra, oh, Bella Ra, hey, hey, Bella Ra, Bella Ra, oh, Bella Ra, Bella Ra, beautiful goddess, beautiful, beautiful beloved. Oh, thank you for coming and dancing with me. Yeah, Bella Ra. I am never old. So all the great ancestors, we dance with you. We dance for you. We carry on the lineage, the tradition. Rock with me now. Ooh, let's go. Let's dance. Come on. You know, that's right. You know, it's all right. Through the valley, through the night, from dusk till dawn, we gotta see the light that shines inside. You know it, all right. Oh, no, no. This song right here is called Sunshine. I wrote this during COVID 2020, and it was a trying time for so many of us around the world. And something just said, do something to remember the light. And when I finished writing this song, it came to me like, it reminded me of a song that I used to sing when I was a kid. Y'all might remember. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Well, I'm here to tell you, sunshine is here to stay. I promise to shine my light. I hope you remember to shine yours too. Cause we're just all a ray of sunshine. Sometimes it does get cloudy, but the sun's still gonna shine, and it's still gonna be there. And if we forget sometimes, that's okay, because sometimes we're not always okay. But if we just remember that each of us has the light, and one time, if your light feels a little dim, feel free to call on me. I'll be here, shining with you forever. You know, I'll never go away. Baby, I'm here to stay. Shining light in rays, sending love in waves. Even in dark of the night, you'll always have my light. Baby, just look inside. Always remember to shine, shine. Yeah. stars in space, darkness in every place. Silence seems the noise, existence seems the void. Thought begets the sound, our voices all around. We lift them through the skies, in harmony unified. Shine. Sometimes we go through that thing, but we gotta remember that the light is within, and the light is with our friends. Remember, I'll never go away. Baby, I'm here to stay. Shining light in rays, sending love in waves. Even in dark of the night, you'll always have my light. Baby, just look inside. Always remember Please remember to shine. If you ever forget, sometimes we may give up. Let's not give up. Oh, no. Let's shine. We all are stars. Let's remember to shine. Sometimes we might not be as bright as we want to be, but always remember that there's a light, each and every one of us. We didn't know any better when we were younger. We didn't know when we were younger. When we were younger, we didn't know any better. That beach days in the summer. One could say that we were ignorant, but that don't take away our innocence. I dream awake of going back again to feel that love that seems to never end. Dance. Move your face muscles. Make it move, yeah. Dance with me now. Yeah. Hey, we're just having a little fun right now. We don't exercise our face nearly as much as we probably ought to. So face dance with me next time the break comes. In the meanwhile, yeah. When we were younger, we kissed and tasted heaven on beach sand in the summer, held each other forever. One could say that bliss was ignorance, and that we took each other's innocence. I dream awake of going back again, just feel that love is never end. Oh, when we were younger, we didn't know, no. When we were younger, we didn't know. When we were younger. This last song I would like to do is called Beyond Love. It was composed in a special place called Nukutepipi for Guy La Liberté. And it's been an honor to be on this track and to release. I really love the vibration of what we're saying here is radical acceptance, unconditional radical acceptance. We want to find a way to get past all of the things that make us different and really accept and love each other for who we are. You know. Shout out to the Fraud Collective. Want to be a fraud? Let's go, let's go, let's go. from the mirror. When you realize it's you who fears ya, who better to hold near and dear to ya. Accept the joy and the pain, the smiles and tears to. Accept the joy and the pain, the smiles and tears to. Accept the joy and the pain, the smiles and tears to. Oh yeah, the lightest air rises, blending all the way. There is always peace. Find it staring in the mirror. Embrace beyond holding, accept beyond taking. Embrace beyond confining, accept beyond refining. Embrace beyond love, love, accept beyond love, love, love. Embrace beyond love, 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 accept beyond love. Whoa. The lightest air rises, blending all the way. Peace creates the storm. Her sun, the eye of the storm. Embrace beyond holding, beyond taking, beyond confining, beyond refining. It's beyond love, beyond love, accept beyond love, it's beyond love, beyond love, it's beyond love. You know. Ain't no running from the mirror. When you realize it's you who fears ya, who better to hold near and dear to ya. Accept the joy and the pain, the smiles and tears, smiles and tears, smiles and tears. Radical is magical, to be unaccepted, so tragical. Radical is magical, to be unaccepted, so tragical. Radical, magical, unaccepted, so tragical. Radical, magical, unaccepted, so tragical. You know, it's alright. And if it's not alright right now, it's gonna be okay. Hold on, let go. Hold on, let go. Let it go. It's radical, it's magical. You got the magic, we got the magic. Be the magic, love, light, liberty, peace, blessings. yours truly, trying to be good. Phantom Magnetic, thank you very much for attending this performance.